Hey there, it is Shanel here from the Heart and Soul without your weekly oracle card reading this week. It should be your reading for June 8th through the 14th, 2020, but I've sat down to record this a couple of times and it in all honesty, it doesn't feel right. I've tried to record, I've tried to pull cards, and every time that I go to talk, I just get this overwhelming feeling that that's not what this is about this week. And as I start to ramble, then I start to question myself and question if I'm saying things that are appropriate. I don't want to offend anyone because it is something that I truly believe in, the Black Lives Matter movement, because that's what keeps coming up. And the cards aren't saying anything that you don't already know. Speaking to integrity, speaking to standing up, speaking to being our true selves, our authentic selves, acknowledging people for who they are. But each time I'd start to record and then I just kind of shut down and need to hit stop. And I've realized that this week, you guys, you don't need a reading. You know what's happening in the world right now. It is all out there in front of us on every media channel, in the radio and papers and our social media. It's everywhere. You totally know what's going on. And I'm not someone who tells people what to do. That's not who I am. I will stand up for what I believe in, but I'm not going to have a pissing match with somebody over that. But know damn well that I would stand up for anybody that's standing next to me. I will not allow someone else to be treated poorly. I just don't think that's the right thing to do. And I'm a firm believer in being yourself. You be you. You be your authentic self, because I feel like that's so important to who we are and to our own happiness. There is a revolution going on. There is an awakening going on right now, and it's time for the world to really wake up. So I thought today, instead of a reading, because again, the cards didn't have anything to say that you guys don't already know. You got it. You have this. You just have to be a part of this. You need to shut up and listen. You need to learn. You need to act. For those who have strong voices, you need to tell it on the mountaintop until people listen, because change has got to happen. Absolutely, change has got to happen. So today I wanted to do a little healing with you guys. This has been passed down to me from my mentors and friends within the holistic community. And it's a healing technique that I really love because I feel like it's something that's really powerful yet gentle all at the same time. So you think of healing as a triangle. So typically when we want to send someone healing or light and love or however energy, whatever you want to call it, whatever you resonate with, we typically send it directly to them. Which in some situations where people want that healing, it is fantastic and it's so powerful and it's so beautiful. But then there are those times that people don't want it. And I am big on ethics. I do not read people's energy that I don't have permission to read. I will not send energy to anybody that I do not have permission to send it to. I always do an energetic check-in. And if at all possible, I get like a physical, like a verbal or a written permission to do things. And even when I have verbal and written permission, I always do an energetic check-in too, because sometimes people say yes and they don't really mean yes. But sometimes in situations when we want to send healing, that person doesn't want it or isn't capable of receiving it in this moment. And in fact, when they're in that state, it can actually make things worse instead of better. I always like to think of it as if you think of that energy coming at them, it's very direct and very at you. So I always think of it like as a bumblebee in your face. So you can imagine if you have a bumblebee flying around your face, it's kind of an uncomfortable kind of feeling. Even if you are all about the bees like I am, and I don't swat them away, I just kind of get out of their way. It makes you like aware, and it gives you a sensation of like, oh, what's going on? So that's what the energy's like. So when we send energy to someone, or even, if we've got high energy, like a high vibration, and we're hanging out with someone who has really low vibration, even just being near those people can irritate them. And they won't understand why. They'll just know that they're agitated, and it's because your vibration is high. It's positive. It's rocking. So by sending that energy directly to them, it can really actually have a negative effect. And we don't want that. So instead of sending it directly down that channel to that person, we're going to bypass it. And then we're going to go this way and come around at it. So we send it out in a more general fashion. So you don't send it directly to that person, but you send it to like the relationship of, or the situation, or so that it is directly coming at them. And I like to think of it as like waves on the ocean, that it's just like this beautiful wave hitting the shore. That sound, like that hushing sound that we hear, that's what it's more like, sending it that way. So for example, in this situation, there is a lot of people that are negative about this whole situation, and have a lot of nasty things to say, and have a lot of hatred and anger. And we don't want to send our beautiful, loving energy at them, because that's only going to worsen the situation. So we're going to send that energy maybe to equality, sending that loving, healing energy to those who need to see the world in a different way. We could send it as, kind of as an awakening, I guess. Sending that loving, healing energy to heal their hearts and their souls for whatever reason that they have those views, to be able to shift them and change them. At the same time, there are a lot of people that are very angry and sad and, up in arms. Somebody put it as, I really liked it when they talked about the riots and the kind of protests and stuff like that. They referred to it as like in their classroom, that when a child has a tantrum in the classroom, that they should be allowed to have that to a certain extent, because there are feelings and emotions that are inside of them that need to come out, and they don't know how to express it in any other way. So allowing them to kind of express it. And I thought, wow, that's a great way to explain this, because this is pent up stuff that's been happening for generations that need out. And this is just how it's come out for some people in that way. So we can send loving, healing energy to the relationships of being oppressed, of being treated negatively, for being treated without equality, with treated disrespectfully. We can send all that loving, healing energy. So all those people that are like amped up right now, we can send this beautiful wave of love and emotion to them, versus sending that, again, that direct, strong healing. And this can work for anything, if you are separated from your spouse and your children have to deal with that spouse, you can send the energy, that healing love, to the energy of, or the situation, the relationship of co-parents, to send that healing energy to that relationship in hopes to be able to co-parent in a better way. So I felt like that was more productive today than a reading, because I feel like we need that all just a little bit more. And the beautiful part about this is that when we send that energy out, we're not just sending it to that one person, to that one situation. We're actually sending it out into the universe to anybody that needs it, that falls into that category. So it becomes so much bigger and so much stronger and so much more powerful. And it's just this act of love, this pure and beautiful act of love. So really think about what you want to send out there. Think of who you want to send it to. And I really hope that you can find a way to send it that is beautiful, that is heart-centered, that is loving and caring and compassionate, and that makes a change, that allows people to open their hearts and their souls, that opens their eyes and their ears to what is actually happening out there and is surrounding us, because change needs to happen. So be a part of that change. Be the change that you want to see in the world. I love that quote. Be the change you want to see in the world. And think about not just yourself, but the children that surround you. That one's a big one for me too, is making sure that my children know what's the right thing to do, and knowing that we're doing this for the next generation so that they don't have to go through what maybe you went through, because things need to change. And again, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I have so many feels and I don't know how to express them, and I'm afraid of offending someone or hurting someone's feelings when I just want to send out a whole lot of love and light, and I want to just be here for those who need it and try to be as supportive as I possibly can, because I know I will never, ever, ever understand. But I do know that I want to be here and I want to see a change, and I will stand next to anyone who also wants to see a change, and I will be here to love and support those who need it. So send a little love and send a little healing out into the world today, maybe tomorrow, maybe every day. It's a great little exercise to do, maybe first thing in the morning when you get up and drink your tea or your coffee, and just take a moment to give a little back, or maybe right before you go to bed at night. And maybe you can teach your kids and share that with them too. It's something so important to share right now. So send a little love out in the world today, please, and thank you. From my heart and soul to yours, have a good week. Have a positive week. Have a week filled with love.